Hi Rhiannon, Tiffany's pretty sick, so I'm not Tiffany. Being as it is Halloween and it's kind of a spooky theme, Rhiannon, you were talking about games that were sort of themed around like monsters and creatures and whatever, so I wanted to go over a list of games that you can play with when your partner is a zombie. You know, maybe they're under the weather or they're sick like Tiffany is, or they're an actual zombie. So, you know, heavier games you can't always play. I really want to play Panamax right now with someone who's a zombie, because, you know, they can basically just like roll dice and draw cards and whatever. I really want to play Panamax. So yeah, Tiffany's basically a zombie right now, and so these are some of the games that we decided to play together. Anyway, on with the games. The first game is out of focus. The first game is Martian Dice. It is a TMG, Tasty Minstrel game, where you and the other players are presumably Martians, very sort of Mars Attack-esque, and your goal is to abduct as many cows, chickens, and people. Did you ever see the show Cow and Chicken? I really liked Cow and Chicken. So you're trying to abduct as many cows, chicken, and people as you can, but they're pesky humans with tanks that are shooting at your flying saucers. The basic idea of the game is there are just these 13 dice. When it's one player's turn, they roll all the dice. After someone rolls all the dice, they remove all the dice with the tank symbol. These represent the human's abilities to attempt to fight back. And then they, having all the other dice, which have symbols like cows, chickens, humans, or death rays, you can take one whole type of dice and set it to the side as like locking them or keeping them. But you have to pick one type, and you can only pick one type. So after you move one set of dice, you re-roll all the other dice that you didn't save. And then again, you pull out the tanks and then pull out the one type until you're out of dice. So the deal is, you need as many death ray symbols as there are tanks at the end of your turn, otherwise you don't score any points. It's basically a push your luck game. You pick up the dice that are left, you roll them, and then you go, do I want to save them? Do I want to abduct the people? Do I want to move the death rays off? I just rolled 5 humans. Do I want to move the 5 humans and save those because that's more points? One wrinkle is you get an extra 3 points if you have at least one cow, chicken, and human. And the person to get to 25 points wins. So you could play this if you were brain dead. In fact, if your partner was like asleep in the chair next to you, you could probably just roll the dice for them and it would be just as much fun. Alright, next up we have this game 7 Dragons. As the rules say, the game is called 7 Dragons for 2 reasons. First, the cards features 7 colorful dragons. Second, your goal is to connect together a chain of 7 dragons of the same color. So there's sort of cool dragon art if you like dragons. And it's sort of a card placement game. If they were tiles, it would be a tile placement game, but they're cards. You as the players are trying to sort of make runs of dragon cards. So for example, like the cards are divided up into little, I guess you could call them tiles with a different color of dragon. Each player starts the game with the secret goal of a color of dragon, and they're trying to make a run of dragons that are connected. And so like if this card were down, it would be legal to place this card because that's green, and then that's also green. So those are connected. So if there's sort of a path of cards and it's 7, you would win. So it's really obvious who wins. There's no scoring step. If the other person wasn't paying attention and just putting cards down randomly, it would probably still be challenging. And that's basically it. There's a little bit of a take that element. There's these action cards. So this action card is trade hands. Just you play it, you trade hands with the other person. You can trade goals, you can pick a new goal. You can move a card that's on the board, you can zap a card on the board back into your hand. When Tiffany and I were playing, it became a little cutthroat, like, you know, oh, I see you put down that one card and you want to win, well, I'm just gonna take it and move it and do that. Ha, take that. Take that is kind of fun when the other person isn't really paying attention, because it's sort of a very visceral, like, I hate you element to it. And you just hate them so much. It's late, it's fun. when it's over, you might not want to play it again. Spoiler, probably my favorite of the bunch. Coloretto is basically Zularetto if you're brain dead and don't like zoo animals. I don't really know who doesn't like zoo animals. So Coloretto is a game where you're trying to collect sets of cards of just different colors. Sort of the idea of the game is there's people are either playing cards to one of a couple sets in the middle, or taking an entire set or an entire row of cards and taking turns doing that. The way scoring works is you can only score points for 3 of the colors you've gotten, and the rest score you negative points. On someone's turn, they pick the top card of the deck, and then they add it to one of the 3 sets on the board, or take one of the sets. Since you can see what cards everybody has in their sets in front of them, you can sort of get an idea of what cards people want and what cards people don't want. The way the scoring works is the more cards you have, the more total points you get. So 1 card of one color, if it's one of your 3 that you're getting positive points for, is 1 point. 6 cards is 21 points if you're playing with 1 set of scoring. The easy set, which I would recommend playing if the other person's zombified. So the game has a psychological element to it where you're trying to predict what the other person is going for and either trying to screw them or not. It plays fast. You get through most of the deck, you'll see an end round card, and then that signifies it's the last round. There's only 15 cards left. The scoring is pretty fast. You just count up how many cards and add that up for points. So say if I had these 4 yellow cards, I'd score 10 points. So I just go, 4, I get 10. Okay, I have 40, you have 50. Oh, I hate you, let's play again. So Coloretto really lends itself to just playing quickly. You don't need to super pay attention. Just keep an eye on what the other person's getting and try to screw them. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I just kind of want to play it multiple times. Of all these brain dead games, I'd probably most want to play Coloretto if I wasn't super brain dead. The theme kind of being here, what if there was just, if your partner had been bitten and turned into a zombie, what game would you want to play with them, presumably before they ate you, that they were still able to play? Another genre I think is great to play when your partner's kind of under the weather is solo games. So here is a solo game that I've really wanted to play for a long time, but haven't really had a chance to pull it out yet. It's called Thunderbolt Apache Leader. The words on the box all appeal to my my wargamer side. So the close air support solitaire strategy game. It's by Dan Versing Games. He's been making solitaire games for a number of years, and this is sort of the culmination. So yeah, it's a great game to play with your partner when they are just not actually going to play. Hey babe! Oh, so yeah, let's take it to the table. Solitaire games are great to play when your partner's under the weather because it's a chance for you to play a game and not feel like you're excluding them because they're excluding themselves. That sounded kind of mean. Hey babe, you want to play Thunderbolt Apache Leader? Just what I thought.